You are frustrated because you have tried so many times to stick with this habit, stick with this goal, and you fall off every time. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you the number one way that will actually create lasting change. Welcome back to the Stella podcast, y'all. I am so excited to be here this week. This is the podcast where we learn how to become our best selves, along with LOLs and rants and just the average life of a girly pop. But we are anything but average, honestly. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to HelloFresh. HelloFresh, as I'm sure most of you know, is a meal kit delivery service. What I really like about HelloFresh is they provide both meals that you can cook, so they will provide all the ingredients, the recipe, etc. And they also have pre-prepared meals that you can just pop in the microwave. So it's really fun because you can learn new recipes and also have that convenience. I do love to cook, and sometimes some weeks I just don't have the time for it. What's also really great about HelloFresh is they can adapt to your specific diet and your preferences, so there's truly something for everyone. If you use my link and code down below, you can get up to 10 free meals as well as free breakfast. If you haven't taken advantage of that offer yet, I would definitely recommend that you do. So anyway, most of us have goals that we want to achieve and things in our daily lives that would bring us closer to that goal. So whether you've been finding it so hard to stay consistent with the gym, or with going to sleep early, or with drinking enough water, or maybe quitting smoking, or whatever it is, there is a specific way to think about going into these things that, again, will actually create that long-lasting change. James Petraska created the trans-theoretical model of change, and this highlights 5, or technically 6, but it kind of depends on the situation, stages of change that somebody has to go through in order to create that long-lasting change. The first stage is pre-contemplation. This is when you're not really thinking seriously about taking action on your goal, achieving your goal, implementing your goal. It's when maybe someone else is telling you you should do something, or you're feeling like you probably should, but you don't feel motivated. Then we move on to stage 2, which is contemplation. This is when your goal feels a little more realistic. You're like, wait, like, maybe I could do that. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to do that. Then we have stage 3, which is preparation. This is when you are looking up things. Maybe you ordered a new workout outfit. You are looking up recipes. You're asking people what their experience has been. And then we have stage 4, which is action. This is when you are actively trying. This is when you're putting in that work. You are setting your alarm. You're putting it in your schedule. You're keeping track. You're making it happen for yourself. And then we have stage 5, which is maintenance. And this is where it kind of becomes second nature to you, and you have different things that work for you to maintain this habit or goal. It's also important to note that you can fall back in the stages of change. You know, life happens. Sometimes something really stressful happens and you want to revert back to your old habits out of comfort. And that's just like what you knew. That's what is going to soothe you. So it's not completely linear all the time. Like, we're going to fall back. And that's why this maintenance stage is about knowing what, I don't know if it's necessarily what your triggers might be, but just basically knowing what you're going to do if a barrier comes up. And again, it's pretty much second nature, but you still have things that, you know, keep you on that road. Stage 6, which is kind of like not always applicable, is termination. And this is when it's truly just part of your life. You don't really need to think about it anymore. It's just like the new you. An example of where you wouldn't use this stage is like with addiction. Addiction recovery is a lifelong process, and you always need to have the tools available to, you know, fall back on for support and for getting you through tough moments. So that's like kind of not always part of it. But so what helps us move from pre-contemplation to action, to maintenance, to even just contemplation? The biggest thing, and this is what I really focus on in my health coaching with clients, with you guys, is finding your why. Because think about it, if somebody else is telling you to do something and you're not ready to do that thing, and then you feel that guilt, like, I should be doing it, they're right, or like, I should do this for my family, I should do this for my partner, that motivation is external. It's not coming from within you because you want to and believe that you can do something or change. It's coming from something else. Or you're like scrolling on TikTok, you see a girl, it's like, oh my God, body goals, or like, I wish I could be like that. But if you don't take it deeper and like, this is what I would see for myself, and like, this is how this would benefit me if I like went to the gym like that, or ate like that, or thought about things like that. It's not deep, you know, it's just like, oh, like a comparison, and it doesn't really go anywhere. So tapping really into your why and getting deep with it. Like, how are you going to feel if you go through with this? What is your ideal vision? How is this going to affect those around you? And I think especially things that are food and diet related, getting really specific with that. And again, it's going to be different for everyone, but I think if your goal is to have like a hot bod or something, even going deeper with that, like how do you think it will make you feel? How would you feel in your ideal scenario? And this is why, y'all know, some of y'all know, I am a very down to earth person. Like I would consider myself spiritual, but I don't even honestly like saying that sometimes because I feel like some people, some of the girlies take it way too far, and I'm just like not with that. Like I'm still like on like I'm like down to earth, if that makes sense. But I think this is one like I do love a manifestation because so much of it and like getting into the law of attraction and that whole kind of subculture because it's so true. So often when we want something, it's about what we want it to make us feel like. So when you get really specific, clear, and deep with your why of your goal, it makes it so much easier to connect to because you can actually feel that feeling or at least recognize that feeling rather than like, oh, well, if I've never had this before, whether it's like a certain body or you've never really been in shape or you've never felt just peace of mind or you've never not smoked or drank or whatever, things can feel very overwhelming and unrealistic because it's like, well, I've never had that before. But if you focus on the feeling, it's like in some instances it's like, okay, I've felt energized before. I could feel like that again. I felt at peace before, even if just for a moment, I could feel that again. Or this is how I want to feel. And it's like I felt the opposite of that. I felt fatigued. I felt unenergized. I felt this and that. And I know I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel the opposite. So the first step that you can take, after thinking about this is deciding first of all, what feels the most realistic and the easiest to start with. I feel like, usually if we want to change our lives, if we want to upgrade our lives, we want to focus on a million things at once. But starting with whatever feels the most achievable is so important because if it feels the most achievable, you're the most likely to achieve that. And it kind of starts this upward spiral of winning and confidence. It builds your confidence because you're like, okay, I did that. Now on to the next. And you kind of build that staircase of like achievement and like, yes, I can. But focusing just on one thing. And then from that, ask yourself, what is one thing I could do this week to get me closer to that goal? And think honestly small. Like do your whole daydreaming, brainstorming, ideal scenario, how you ideally want to feel, your ideal vision, all of that. And then when it comes to actually making things happen, you need to start like low key small and achievable because the last thing you want to do is like feel really motivated on your ovulation week, do a brainstorm sesh with your caffeine, and you just feel so good and you're like, I could do it all. And then the next week or like 2 weeks later, you're PMSing, it's cold and rainy outside. You're like, why would I even think I could do this? And then like you try maybe and you fail because it was like literally unrealistic and you didn't like think about the fact that you would have PMS or like that these external factors would affect things and you're like, oh my God, I guess I'm a failure. I just can't do it. And it's like, babe, it's not that you're a failure. You just like overdid it and didn't think about these other factors. So start small, have a plan for when things come up. Let's say you want to go to the gym every morning before work. It's like, okay, what are you going to do if it's raining outside and you don't feel like going? What are you going to do if you're on your period? What are you going to do if you were up late the night before? Having a plan. It's like, okay, if I have really bad cramps, I'll just go on a walk later in the afternoon. Or I just won't that day and I'll feel fine about it. Planning things in a way that is actually realistic. It's like the classic example of like you feeling so motivated on New Year's to have this huge plan of your year and like everything you're gonna do. And then none of it happens because it was kind of unrealistic. You didn't actually have a plan. You just had this like concept and you didn't break it down into small achievable steps and like on a daily basis, how are you going to like prepare for this trip? How are you going to save up for it? How are you actually going to lose this weight? How are you going to actually get out there and date? So you need to get specific, like have that ideal vision, dream big, allow yourself the space for that. Yes, it's possible. Your dream feeling is possible. But then, okay, we still have to live each day. We have to do the dishes every day. We have to do laundry. We have to have PMS, some of us. What are you going to do when you've had a long day at work, you don't have anything to eat, you said you were going to work out, what are you going to do then? And it's like, it's still possible. Things are still possible. It's just like, you have to think about them in advance and plan for it, which I know you can do. If you want a little homework for the week, I would recommend doing a journal sesh, doing a brainstorm sesh, and imagine your ideal vision of whatever it is that you are wanting to work at. Again, it does not have to be fitness or diet related. Wellness is literally everything in your life. It's your career, it's your relationships, it's your spiritual practice, it's your sleep. Like, it's literally everything. It's not just working out and eating like your food, which obviously that's a huge part of it. But ideal scenario for everything. If you want to be a content creator, what's your ideal vision and what is something you can do this week to get you one step closer to that? Dream big, start small with achievable steps so you build that momentum. And remind yourself every day of your why, your ideal vision, and how you ideally want to feel. This truly makes the world of a difference. This is like a segue, I guess. I have been reading this book, you guys know, The Perfectionist Guide to Losing Control, and it just really got me thinking. It's literally so true. Nobody's perfect. Like, it's like we hear that, we know that, but when you like stick with me. It's like when you literally think about it, it's like nobody's perfect. Like, you could find something to talk shit about anybody. Like, even think of the most gorgeous celebrity, like, she has some tea on her, or like her man cheated on her, which, not to say that's like her fault or reflects poorly on her, but it's like, like, nobody's perfect. And so I think, especially if you are kind of hard on yourself, or you have this all or nothing mentality, or you're like very just, you're a perfectionist, it's like so often you want to measure maybe your self-worth or like how you're doing in life by how perfect it is. So it's kind of like shifting your scale or how you're kind of like grading things, grading yourself, not on how perfect it is, but on how willing you are to step outside of your comfort zone and like face things head on and experience life. One of the huge things that she talks about in this book with perfectionism, and I was kind of talking about this last week, is procrastination. And it's like, you want to sometimes, like, not everyone, but some people want to wait to start until everything is perfect. It's like the ideal circumstance to start, everything's in line. And sometimes you can use this as an excuse to put things off because you're scared of failure, of rejection, of it not being perfect, whatever it is. And therefore, I just kind of had this epiphany when I was like reading this in the book. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to wait till things, it's not like someone else succeeds because it's like they waited till everything was perfect and like they just happened, it just worked out because everything was perfect. They had the perfect circumstances. I'm just not going to start yet because I don't have the perfect circumstances. It's like, no, they just weren't scared of being embarrassed. They didn't care if they failed or not. And another big thing that I keep seeing, like, not even in this book, but like, it's like, when you have an idea or you're thinking about something and you just start seeing it everywhere. I heard this phrase called fail forward, which is like, even if something fails, you fail at something, it doesn't work out, it's still forward momentum because it's like, okay, that didn't work. What's next? Instead of just sticking behind and like always just like waiting and like people are passing you by literally just because they're not scared. So measuring your success by how willing are you to fail or to potentially be embarrassed or for to not go perfectly, but at least you are starting that forward momentum. You are failing forward. How willing are you to get uncomfortable? How willing are you to look silly or feel silly? That is truly what I feel success and just personal fulfillment is based on. It's not like, again, I'm just gonna wait till everything's perfect, then I'm gonna do it. It's like, that's never gonna happen. So you just need to figure it out. Start, figure it out, fail forward, keep trying. That is literally what separates people. Like, it's just so true. And it's so, like, it's just so crazy. It's so true. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this subject. If you've ever had experience with any of this, let me know. What are your thoughts? I will also link this book down below. Would definitely recommend. So kind of shifting gears, if you were just here for that talk, period, it's over. You can always reflect, not reflect, honestly reflect on the timestamps. You can always refer to the timestamps. But I had this thought, and it's kind of corny, But I just think it's so true. So I was just like living my life, thinking about being single, thinking about personally, let me know if you relate. I feel like I feel my best. Ambitious girly, stand up. Stand up. Can I get a round of applause for my ambitious girlies? I feel my best when I am like locked in, when I am completely focused on like building my channel, planning a podcast episode, going and doing a workout at 5 in the morning. Like, that's literally just, I love being in my zone. And don't get me wrong, of course, time with loved ones, family, friends, like, that's like so important. But just on a day to day basis, like, and then it's just so true when I think about every worst memory I've had, it's like always usually like associated with a man. And I think I was thinking about that because I saw a TikTok where girlies were talking about that. It's like I can think of so many best days or moments of my life, but all the worst ones, and like none of them involved a man, but all the worst moments of my life typically involve a man. It's like, oh my God. So it just got me thinking. It's like if he is not giving is again, it's kind of like corny, but it's like true. If he's not giving you the world, he is just distracting you from getting the world on your own. Because like literally, I it's just like I've wasted so much time with the wrong guy, with just bullshit, with being caught up and like just oh my God, what does he like me? Like trying to like what do you think this text means? Or like I don't know, just stupid like stupid stuff. And I think so much of it is patriarchy. Men are literally born thinking they're the main characters, being shown that they're the main characters. And so I think 9 out of 10 relationships, he's gonna be the main character and you're low key gonna have to like adjust to him, cater to him, which that's literally what patriarchy like says. And I'm just like not about that life. Like, I'm just not. Like, I hate that. Like, I really hate that. I'm not really dating right now. Also, I know I've talked about Hinge here and there. It's like I don't want to fumble a Hinge brand deal, but like I really feel like Hinge is a scam. Like I have seen other girlies talk about this, how it's like once they pay for the subscription or whatever, they get way better options. And I really feel like the guys you like, it shows you less of them because it wants you to pay. And then I also saw this girl say if you pause your profile, like whenever you're just like not into dating or whatever, once you unpause, it'll push your profile out and you'll get way more likes. So I tried this out and I got like a bunch more likes. I had to say no to every single one. I'm just like, ew. And then I just saw this girl, this is what made me think of it. Like literally before this girl's video saying she has started just saying yes on every single like and she literally got like 300 likes in a day. Which I don't get any likes. Like I will maybe get like two, not even per day. Like, I'm like, they are not showing my profile. My profile, like what? And they're like, guys, I would literally never talk to, not even look at. Like, they're like randoms, no offense, that would like follow me on IG. Like, not in like a cute way. Like, literally, like a random foreign man. Like, like they would like say baby can we call to my IG story since like 2016. Like that's like the vibe of the guys that will like me on Hinge. So I'm just like it is not me. It is the algorithm. Like I don't know. I'm over it cuz it's like one thing just if this was normal, it's still kind of weird I think like to me cuz it's like you know when you can just have a crush on someone and like let it develop and it's like maybe you're friends first or it's just like you can kind of build attraction or at least if you're at a bar or something you know someone's vibe you know like I don't know because I feel like just from photos and stuff like obviously you can tell some but I don't know it takes that aspect out of it of kind of letting attraction build naturally. Some people are like oh well you at least know like things, certain things off the bat, like what they're looking for or their political views. And it's like half of these guys are lying about all of those things. So It's like, it's just stupid, but I don't know. It's just, I'm at a point right now, at least, where I feel like I just literally want to lock in. I want to grow my content. Like, I just want to keep like learning. I just want to keep going to the gym super early. I just want to keep locking in. And and I just feel like even going on a date, it's like that takes so much time to get ready, to go there, and then if we have drinks, low key two drinks be affecting me these days, and then I'm gonna be up past my bedtime, and then I won't get to the gym tomorrow. Like my mind is just not in that zone right now, and it's like just especially with all of these other things because it's even like that for like a girly friend that you actually love, know, and trust. It's like sometimes you literally just don't have the time for even that. But then when you take this whole other aspect into it of like, okay, this guy is gonna try to like be controlling or like be weird or just like try to be the main character, is like, I just, it's like obviously not all guys, whatever, but it's like most of them. And to date, you need to be dating, multiple people. It's like it's not always gonna work with everyone. So it's not like you just decide one like random date. It's like, oh, it'll probably be amazing. It's like it probably statistically will be horrible. So yeah, also my friend and I were talking about the vibe of guys that ask for your number, like in person, and then never call. Okay, do you guys have like a theory about this? Because I hate that, first of all. And I think it's just a validation thing for them. I honestly, also, if this happens to you, I would not read too much into it because it definitely reflects more about them than you. And if he's not going to call, like, first of all, never text a guy first or call or anything. But it's like they could have a wife, they could have a girlfriend, they could just like it's for their own validation, or maybe they got caught up with someone else. It's just, it really has nothing to do with you. But it is annoying and it does just make me think like you just have to be more like even if you like the guy, he's cute, you literally want to give him your number, you want to see him again. You need to be more like I don't know if crafty is the word, but crafty is what is coming to mind. Like, oh, well, what are you going to use my number for? And kind of like just make them work for it. Don't just give them your IG, give them your number. Like, you got to make them work. So let me know if you feel like this, because then it's also weird to see so many people get engaged and like married and have kids that are like literally my same age. It's like, are you guys sure? Like, I don't know. Because it's like, babe, y'all need to think about this too. If you're single and you're like feeling that, like, it's like, oh, why is everyone getting engaged suddenly? Half of these marriages are going to end in divorce. Like, there's, you know, how we're going through that first, maybe not first for everyone, but to me, it feels like we're going through that first round of people getting engaged, people getting married, da da da. You know what's next? That first round of divorces. That first round of like starting your next family. This is the thing. It's like, I don't get when some of these girlies, you think you're on the same page, and I've said this before, but then, like, you think you're on the same page of, like, yeah, these guys are annoying, like, ew, couldn't be me. And then they'll repost something that's like, I can't wait till this time next year and I have a ring on my finger and like, da da. It's like, do you guys think life just ends? Like, this is the thing. Some of y'all, I mean, most of us are conditioned to have this fairy tale in mind. It's like, you think just because you're married, nothing bad's gonna happen? Have you ever sat at a bar and a married man has bought you a drink or something something? It's like or like you found out he was married or like I don't know. That is so crazy. Like it's just like do people not think like do people just think it'll never happen to them? Why is there this like huge level of delusion or like cognitive dissonance? Because you will see these girls reposting all the time like yeah, fuck these guys like da da da, and then the next day I can't wait till I'm in my soft wife era. Maybe their ideal vision is just being a wife and they have this like fantasy of that and God bless. Hopefully they find their perfect Prince Charming, but it's not really realistic and I feel like sometimes people are so focused on the fairy tale like fantasy that they overlook red flags and they believe like love bombing. And that's why love bombing works, because it's like you think it's aligning to your fantasy vision, but it's a fantasy, it's not real. And don't even get me started because I've gone on this rant so many times, but some of these bad date story times, I could have told you it was going to be a bad date before you even left the house. Oh yeah, I went to his house for the first date. So when he texted you come over, that wasn't a red flag to you? That wasn't an ew to you? When he was like being rude or not texting you to confirm the date day of, that didn't like flag for you? You know what I mean? It's like you don't know until you know, but I'm here to let you know. I don't know, bro. It's just like I'm not in the mood. Like I just literally all I want is like for when I go out to meet someone and they pay for my whole tab and like it can be a fun and flirty night and there's like that fun kind of like flirtiness and then he pays for everything and then like gets me a Uber Black XL home without him. And I am home early enough to where I can like get enough sleep and wake up and I'm not hungover, but I have like a fun memory of the night before. And like that's it. Like that's really it. Like that's really all I want. That's my fantasy. I don't want you coming over. I don't want to go to your house. I don't want anything except a flirty, just memory at a nice establishment, and I can go to the gym tomorrow. Like, I'm not dehydrated. Like, literally. When the fantasy is still there, and then you exit before. I mean, that makes me sound like super avoidant, but you know what I mean? It's like 9 times out of 10, why are they lying about the, like, having a family? I don't want to be involved. I just want you to. Sometimes also the girlies have this unrealistic fantasy of like having a sugar daddy. Babe, that is a job. You're like, I don't want to work. I just want my man to pay. It's like, I mean, yeah, I do think the man should pay, but also like sometimes the way people talk about it, it's like you want a sugar daddy, which I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like that's still a job, babes. And it's like not like it's just this perfect thing and like, oh, he's just such a gentleman and like, it's like usually a guy who's like that, they could be controlling because they know they can control you with their money and that's what they're providing you with. So it's kind of like from every angle, a lot of the times you're not going to win. And so that's why I just truly think it's so important to have your own. Why would you want someone else to pay for it when you could just like focus on like, I want to be more successful and I want to pay? But like for myself, but obviously if I'm going to be with a man or date a man, like he needs to be like providing. But like it shouldn't be your goal to find a man with money. Your goal should be I want money. I want to be successful. I want to be personally fulfilled. Yeah, like, oh my God, just look at all these. It's like, do people literally just think it will never happen to them? Look at The Sopranos. I'm like rewatching it, so I'm like on season 6 now for the millionth time. Carmela starts to get annoyed. She's restless. Her kids are growing up. She wants to get her real estate license. She wants to do something. He laughs at her. He poo-poos the idea of her having a career or like anything. But then he also, when she's like, what do these whores have that I don't? He's like, oh, well, she's actually smart. She has something to say about something. And she's like, I have things to say. Like, what the fuck? And then he'll be like, oh, like talking to his bros, like, oh, this girl, like she started her own business, like da, da, da. I should have been with someone like that. It's like, but you guys are like, I want like a man that just provides, like I just want to have my soft life. Do you not realize that is a personal hell? And like this is because our society is more conservative now. That's like literally, um, what's the word? What's the word? Propaganda. That's society propaganda. It's telling you to not be educated, to not make your own money, to not have your own voice, free will, choices, anything. So stop. Focus on being successful yourself. Oh my God, it's just like, ugh. There's obviously a difference between like a dusty guy that wants you to pay or that literally has nothing to offer and like lives at his mom's and like is super dusty, has nothing going with for him, smokes weed all day, and like a man who has his shit together, da da da. But it's like also just because someone has money or has their life together in certain ways, that doesn't mean they're not psychotic. That doesn't mean they're not narcissists. That doesn't mean you're literally going to be actually put in a worse situation because they have the money to protect themselves. Look at Cassie. You know what I mean? So it's like, also, money is not everything. You have to protect yourself and you have to make sure you are good. And a lot of that comes down to having your own, being able to leave, being able to make your own choices. If you need to get somewhere, you're able to book a car for yourself. You're able to book a hotel room for yourself to go get away. So have your own. That should be the main focus. Do not make these guys the main focus and do not have this fantasy of like soft wife, soft life. I don't know. Maybe y'all don't care, some of y'all, but it's like to me that sounds like my own personal nightmare. Thank you. There is nothing like just being in your own place that you paid for and you know you're good and you can just do whatever you want. Like in Sex and the City when they're talking about their single activities and Charlotte's in the mirror looking at her blackheads and she's just so relieved to finally do that after being with her husband and being annoyed by him. She's like, finally, I can just be in my own space. Because it's like, bro, even this is why it's an unrealistic fantasy. Because it's not just like, oh, it's not like he could be a narcissist or like he could be evil. It's also just like if you're with anybody for too long, it's like human. Like, not everything is like Prince Charming fantasy 24/7. Talk to anyone who's married. You know, you get sick of each other. You want your own space. Even in a relationship, like you want your own space. So to have this just like unrealistic fantasy, you're not even looking at a relationship, a healthy relationship, clearly, because it's not like the honeymoon stage all the time. So I don't know. It's like, it's just a lot. Society, we live in a society that wants us to just like have this fantasy. So we give into love bombing, get ourselves into a bad situation we can't leave, and we like serve the man, like literally, and have his kids, and then, bro, like, what the fuck? That's your purpose, and then you have like a midlife crisis. Because you're like, what's my purpose now? I don't know. Something I saw that really hit home was it didn't work out because you would have hated it. And can I just say amen to that? Because there are so many things that I thought I once wanted, and it's like, literally, for some of them, it's like certain things unfolded, and it's like, oh my God, thank God that never went anywhere. Thank God that didn't work out. Like, thank God. So just think about your future self right now. Like if you lose an opportunity or something doesn't work out like how you wanted, just imagine your future self being like, girl, you're going to be glad that didn't work out, you know? Things have a way of unfolding, especially when you are on that vibration of like, everything is working out for me. You're able to then look back and be like, it was true. Things are always working out for me. I'm going to answer a few questions on IG to close out the episode. How to be independent after being dependent on a man for so long. I don't know why I allowed this. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, brainstorm your ideal vision. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What's a small step I can do about this today? So I don't really know your exact situation. I don't know if you mean financially and you like have no money now and you're like stressed. I don't know if it's just the emotional thing. Like sometimes you can become very just emotionally dependent on a man, even though you know it's like maybe not good for you. And that's really hard to break. But TBH, no contact, keeping busy, being with friends and family, doing your own thing, and just literally no contact. Do not look at their socials. Do not check up on them. Do not answer any calls. Like full no contact. You get over it. It's kind of like actually funny how quickly you can get over it once you do that. If it's financially, I mean, I don't really know what to tell you because I don't know your situation, but like get a job, make a budget. You got this. Save, stack, spending time reflecting or journaling on the experience, asking yourself what you would have done differently so it doesn't happen again. What initially attracted you to this person? What red flags did you miss that now you kind of realize were there at the beginning? Um, yeah, it's like just because something bad happens, well, let me back up. I truly think everything is a learning experience. And when you choose to look at a situation like that, even if it's very like a very hard experience or something that was very emotional or just like it took a lot out of you, it's like the most productive to think of it as a learning experience and to instead of shaming yourself for like, why did I let this happen? Da da da. Which I think she even, I don't know why I allowed this. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, what did I learn from this? What would I have done differently? What can I do moving forward? And just making a productive use of the time and the energy because otherwise it's like shaming yourself is only going to make you feel worse. And it's not going to create like the lesson learned to then go into the future. Like you're going to feel worse about yourself, so you're probably going to make worse choices because you're like subconsciously like I don't deserve better. But if you're like, okay, learning productive mindset is like, what did I learn? Do you want to get married and have kids? Okay, TBH, girl. Most of the time, no. Like, I'm not kidding. Sometimes I can get into it, but I think, especially working with kids and stuff, it's like so much work. And just like literally, I see why people say your whole life changes because it does. And so many other things. It's like the things I care about the most: my sleep, my workout routine, my alone time, my skincare, my taking a shower twice a day. Like, all of those things would be taken away from me. And that's kind of like, and like, not to mention the amount of money it takes to raise a kid. I don't know. I don't know. I just again I am most personally fulfilled by like other things. So I don't know. And like I don't know. Also I was never one to really fantasize or imagine that growing up. Like I just always was like locked in. Like I just always wanted to do YouTube and like I think it has to do a lot with how I was raised as well. Like my mom's very like she's like a feminist queen, you know? So she was never like oh like I wasn't a little girl dreaming of my dream wedding because it wasn't like forced down my throat by like at least my family. Like obviously there's Disney movies and there's like societal conditioning and like you kind of see these things as you get older and are exposed to more media and movies and stuff. But I don't know. I was always like, that feels weird. Or like giving birth, it's very interesting to me. And it's not like I'm like, oh, I don't like kids or anything, but it's just like, could I imagine doing that? Like, I don't know. And it's always been like that. So I think if it feels right, for sure. Like, I'm not like, oh, I will never do that, but I'm not like pressed. Like, I'm not like, I want that. You know, because I'm also like, she's kind of a realist. Like, I'm like looking at all the like, I'm not like in Fantasyland. And I like making the most and use of my own time and I like going to the gym and like I already said, but yeah. Currently in a multi-week slump with exercise and health because work got crazy. Help. Okay, again, ideal vision. And you can do your ideal vision for like a month from now. It doesn't have to be like your all-time ideal because even that is overwhelming. It's like, damn, I don't even know. Like, do I want like a private island? Like, I don't know. Like, no. But it's like, how big are we dreaming? Like, I don't know. So it's like, what's your ideal vision a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now? People, yeah, it can get overwhelming to even think of a 5 or 10 year plan, you know? So let's just focus on a month from now. And it's like, okay, in a month from now, where do I want to be? How do I want to be feeling? What is something I can do this week to align myself with that? How am I going to keep track of it? How am I going to hold myself accountable? Again, start small. Start with something you know you can probably easily do so it builds that confidence and that forward momentum. You got this. Do you believe there's such thing as too much self-reflection? I think for sure, like if you're living too much in the past, you're not living your life presently, and that's just no way to live. You know, you need to be living your life. And I think also that might tie into for some people like the perfectionist thing of like being scared to live and like try now or start now because it's like, oh, I wanted everything to be perfect first or I want everything to feel right first. But it's really like you're scared of trying and failing or not going your way or like going your ideal visionly. So fail forward and just live. Like you have to remember the point is to live and to experience. It's not to be perfect. It's not to like let's analyze this until like our brains fall out. Like that's not productive. That's not a good use of time. Like obviously self-reflect, but like at a certain point, babe, no. Can a soft girl era and being independent coexist? I think what I just described is like perfect. Like if okay, this is just me. Let me know how y'all feel. I feel like if I'm around a man like he needs to be like taking initiative. He needs to be planning the dates. He needs to be happily paying for everything and like being thoughtful, and just like my happiness should be his main priority. So in that sense, yes, soft girl era when it comes like to that. But then it's like, I don't know, you need to be your own person. You need to be the main character. You need to like, again, have your own money, have your own life, have your boundaries. I think a really good example of like of this is honestly Charlotte from Sex and the City, because she was like so good at setting boundaries and knew what she wanted, but she was like very feminine and like chic at it. I don't know, because it's like, to me at least, I don't want to be like, if you are, I don't know, for lack of a better term, if you're like almost too masculine energy, like you know how Miranda, she was like very successful at work and a lawyer and like very, had money, had a nice place, like this and that. But she also kind of brought that energy into her relationship. And I think that's why she ended up with Steve. Ended up with this weird person later on, like, oh my God. And just like that. But anyway, ended up with Steve because Steve wanted like a mommy. And she was kind of like Steve's mommy. Um, so it's like maintaining that balance. And again, maybe not everyone wants this, so I'm not saying like this is how it should be, but at least like how I kind of think of it, and like to answer this question, it's like you can have your boundaries and then like be the own be the main character of your own life and like have your own find your own personal fulfillment and success. And then like in dating, it's like, yeah, I want a man to like be like a man. Like you need to be like, what can you give me that I can't give myself? And like, what do I gain from being around you? Not even being with you, literally being around you, because it's like a lot of the times it will come with a headache or like with something. So I'm just like, I'd rather be by myself or with friends if it's gonna be like that. So you better be coming up with something good, babes. Even on days where, it's like regular or you're just at work or doing errands or whatever, it's like just putting that little extra effort. It's not like I did no makeup, hair in a messy bun, sweatpants. And having the energy like you're a princess, and like in the sense of, because I think people sometimes get this twisted. When I think, okay, when people say princess treatment, I think sometimes it can come off a little entitled and like, I don't know. I really don't like being around girls who are like kind of rude and like a little mean. I don't like that. When I think of an actual princess, if you think of like Princess Diana, it's like she's for the people. You know what I mean? Like, you are like, people feel good when they're around you. And that's not to say you should be living for other people or like, like, oh, I want everyone to like me. But it's like you are treating others with kindness and respect. And I think of like the vibe of like animals and children and babies like you, old people like you are like, you have manners, you're looking people in the eye, you're making people feel seen, you are polite, you're respectful, you don't take shit, but you're like polite. And some of these girls are like so rude. And I don't know if it's just because like they think they're pretty, they can get away with it. But it's just like, I think, especially having lived in major cities, it's like, I will just sometimes see this vibe and it's like, these are the type of girls that will, I need princess treatment for my man. It's like, that doesn't mean like the world revolves around you and you can like be rude to people. Like an actual princess, you have like birds singing on you, and like children are drawn to you, and like you have pure energy, and you're like polite and respectful and have manners and are like kind to everyone, no matter like, you know, who they are, what they look like, what their job is, how much money they have, like none of that. So that's the real princess energy, you guys. I don't know about you guys. Everyone, all the girlies, if you want to have princess treatment, you need to actually like have a little common courtesy, I think. I just hate that vibe. I hate that vibe so much. I hate a stuck up B word. It's like, okay, like, ew. And I think it also shows a lot on dates. Like, it shows obviously in the real world and like regular life, like people you just have to interact with, but also on dates. Like, men know when you are just stuck up and like entitled. That's not cute. It's not a cute look, and it's very rude. Obviously, we have to keep our guards up, and like, a lot of guys are gonna be assholes and just like not what we want. But it's like, you have to give him a chance to at least prove himself, and he's not even gonna want to do that like off rip. Like obviously not if he's already done something and like if he's like obviously lying and you're like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But like if you're literally showing up to a date and being like, I want princess treatment. People are way too in their like TikTok timelines of feminine energy dating coaches that are just so often, it's like when you get too deep in that, it is BS and it's like really odd. You think you're just supposed to say that and like it'll work. Like that's not how it works. You need to have a little sauce. Anyway, y'all, let me know your thoughts on anything down below. I'm gonna wrap it up here. So glad we could have this talk today. Let me know your thoughts on anything. Let me know your ideal vision down below, or at least a part of it, or like a feeling. Love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe for more weekly episodes, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.